out here, Sam? So I guess we're on, or we're on, okay. Can you turn the big TV on when you get a chance? The back of the room? That way the students can look up and see how they're looking on TV today. Awesome. There it is. There we are. We're back. We made it. Well, we almost made it. One more week. We'll be back in here on Monday from noon to 12:50 with our final speech we have to do, which is going to be an impromptu speech or extemporaneous speech. Today we're going to practice that. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. But I would encourage you all to remember that a journey is never over until the final step. Once you have taken that last step and you are at the end of the journey, then you can say, that's it, it's over, I'm finished. Or as Alyssa said, I'm done. Which in older terms, I'll go ahead and say this since I'm riffing here for a second. Grace, riffing. Done in English used to mean what? When something's done. Cooked. It's ready. It's finished cooking is where that used to come from. But now we say, I'm done when I personally am finished with whatever it is that I've completed, or I don't want any more of it. I'm done. And what you're really saying there is, I'm cooked. But language changes over years. But those of us who come from older years, when we hear a younger person say something that used to mean something else, but means something new now, we think what it used to mean. So earlier you said, I'm done. I was in my head, I was like, you're cooked? Okay. You're not cooked yet. Because even cooked in slang means what? Doomed. Yeah, doomed, right. You're cooked. So. Okay, we have some business to take care of in here today. Before we do that though, how many of you ever read a newspaper? Nobody ever reads newspapers. Once again, I'm from an ancient generation in the previous century that used to get these objects that were printed and delivered to your home, and then you would get them out of your wherever, the mailbox or your front porch, and go, oh, I can't believe that. Or, oh, yay. So I'm a big fan of newspapers. As I've told you all semester, I'm a big fan of reading. Oh, look, we got a close-up from Sam there. He knows what he's doing there. See the one in the back? And see this where it says First Amendment fight? Any idea what this can be about? Do you know what this building is down here? Can you tell what that is from the screen or from the page, front page? That's the University of Oklahoma at Norman. Okay, you can come back to me, Sam. So I got this ancient artifact yesterday at my house, and this morning I was having my coffee, and which, by the way, Elena, thank you for that coffee. I've been enjoying it. So, as you remember, Elena's family runs a coffee farm. So that's where all that evolved. Evans Hall, University of Oklahoma. Graduate instructor put on leave. So a teacher has been put on leave, and the Oklahoma governor has contacted or called on the OU regents to review a student's discrimination claim over a Bible-based essay. Now here's where we are. A teacher who grades an essay too harshly gets put on leave. And not only that, a graduate instructor. What's a graduate instructor? Someone who's working on their PhD, and in trade for some money, they teach low-level graduate classes. And here at RSU, we don't have that. Everybody you get is a full-on degreed instructor or professor. Master's degree, instructor. PhD or other terminal degree like a Master's of Fine Arts, professor. These are things you don't have to worry about because you're not in this system. All that's about ranking and pay is what it's really about. So, Governor Kevin Stitt calling on the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents to review the results of an investigation into a student's claim of discrimination over a Bible-based essay. Why am I even sharing this, and why is it important? Because you're all students, because I'm a teacher. We work in the community of ideas. And when a person is a teacher and trying to get some students to do some stuff, you're trying to get them up to a level of professionalism. So today what we're going to be doing is an impromptu speech. It only can last a minute or two. That's all fine. I have some strips of paper up here at the front of the class. You're going to come up, you're going to pick one up, you're going to read it, and you're going to instantly determine whether or not you can say anything about that. If you can't, you put the piece of paper back down and you pick another one. But you can't put that one back down, and you can't go to the previous one. You got to stick with what it's like, whatever that one of those game shows are. You make your choice, you have to stick with it. So in here, this class, we've only had one occasion of a similar thing, but in my other, I volunteered to teach Comp 1 this year and prior because we needed somebody to go there, and I said I would do it. I have a PhD in English, fully qualified. Trained comp instructor. As a matter of fact, when I first came here, I used to teach it all the time. And I had an essay this semester in which a student, in their argumentative essay, just like we did argumentative topics in here, used the Bible as their primary proof. And I told them, you can't do that in this essay. Why is that? Because any religious text, it doesn't matter which one you use the Quran, you use the tenets of Buddhism, the Tao, you use anything from Hinduism, anything from Christianity, those are religious texts. They are not texts that have been developed as a result of empirical research. What's empirical research? Anybody? David? Nope. Anybody else? One of the Baileys? Nope. Great. Marianne?
Is it like when you find out a idea or concept without looking for it?
Almost. You go back just 2 words.
The idea or concept?
That you find.
That you find on accident.
No. One more. There's a space there. How do you find it?
Oh, how do you find it? Through research?
Yay! Research! This is why teaching just excites me. That's known the Socratic method, right? You pull it out of the student. They don't even know they know it, but you keep working on it and you get it out of them. Yeah, it's information that you derive as a result of bona fide research. So you're doing all this research, and there's a very haughty formal education term for it called heuristics, and that is revelation through research, essentially. But empirical research is where you take a study, you take a biological test of some type or another, and you compare it to other biological tests. You take a mental health test, and you compare it to other mental health tests. But a religious text is not empirical research. It's just not. Nobody in here could make that argument. No one watching could make that argument. No politician could make that argument. No religious leader could make that argument because it's not. It's a sacred, divine text meant to give you guidance through your life in one particular community and point of view. Period. And I'm not even saying anything controversial or there. If student X, right there in that chair who's not there, believed with their whole heart, mind, soul, and body that everything printed in a particular religious text was their whole world, beautiful. You've got a way to live. However, it's not empirical research. It's just what you believe based on a text that you've read, grown up with, and been told this is how to live your life. Live your life this way, it'll all be good. And at the end of it, guess what? Depending on your particular religious faith, you get to do what? Ascend to the heavens and be with all your relatives and friends? Okay, beautiful. But is there any empirical research that shows that that's a true possibility? Nope. And you can argue with that all day long. Why? Because you can't prove it. You can't prove it. So what happened in this particular essay was a grad student teaching an intro to psychology class Intro to Psychology got the students to write a 650-word paper reflecting on gender, which in the current climate is a hot button issue. How are we going to deal with this? So what the student did was used the Bible to support her views on the way gender works. Used no empirical research, no scientific research. Not only that, didn't even cite the biblical quotes, which in my class this past spring, I already went through this. Student brings argumentative essay, biblical quotes all the way through. Okay, well, what's the other side? Oh, I didn't put that in there. You all know in our argumentative essays, you got to have the opposite side. Well, where do you get the opposite side to a religious text? Empirical data. Information evolved as a result of research. So my religious text tells me this is how it is. Beautiful, beautiful. However, here's what science says. If that's not in there, you don't have a balanced essay. You have a polemic. You have a religious tract. You have a piece of text that's trying to influence you based on a belief, not on a fact. And way back when we talked about argumentative essays, there's a difference between belief and facts. You can believe anything you want. You can believe the sky is chartreuse with purple stripes. But if you go outside and your belief is that it's chartreuse with purple stripes, but it's actually blue because of the way light and the outer atmosphere of the earth works, who's right? You that believe it's chartreuse with purple stripes? Or the actual reality that the sky appears blue to us because of the way the atmosphere works with the sunlight? If the science is right. Doesn't mean you can't think what you want. You can think what you want all day. But doesn't mean that it's a fact. And we've been living through a time here in the last several years where the concept of fact is offensive to people. This is the strangest thing to me. Growing up how I grew up and everything, and going through all my schooling and all that stuff, I always was led to believe that a fact was a fact. But I also learned how you use a fact is where your ability to convince someone of something comes into play in an argumentative essay. So you can take one fact and use it different ways. Okay, that's your opinion. That's where we get into your thesis statement, which you're going to have to do or think about. How can you make a thesis statement out of something? We know it's topic plus opinion. Religious texts are not empirical data. Okay, is it my opinion or is that a fact? I'm going to say it's a fact. So that doesn't quite work. Oklahoma State University's football team is going to be great because they got a new coach from North Texas who is a really good coach. Opinion. May or may not happen. Gibson makes the best acoustic guitars. Opinion. Some people like Martin's or many other brands. So as you go further into this, the student got a 0 on the essay after responding to an article about how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender roles. I'm not going to try and overly interpret that, but essentially the teacher is trying to get the students to say, does how you look influence how people react to you? So if you look hyper feminine, do they react in one way? If you look hyper masculine, do they look in a different way? I'm guessing that's what they're getting at. And what data can you use to show that? So going on through it, there was a formal grade appeal, and it resulted in no academic harm to the student. Said the university has a process for reviewing illegal discrimination claims, which was activated. The graduate student who graded the assignment was placed on administrative leave. A full-time professor is put in the class to finish it out for them. An hour after the university's statement was posted on X, which used to be Twitter, and if you know all that stuff, which I'm guessing you do, Governor Stitt got involved. The situation at OU is deeply concerning. I'm calling on the OU regents to review the results of the investigation and ensure other students aren't unfairly penalized for their beliefs. It's different. But now you got the governor involved. This is a intro to psychology freshman essay. And the governor's taking steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again. What? That a graduate student who's grading an essay and understands the difference between beliefs and facts is going to give a 0 to a student who didn't follow the assignment nor include any empirical data, just the information that they had in their belief system? That's not college. I don't care what anybody says. That is not college. I'm not going to go all the way through this. She referred to the Bible throughout the essay, but only referred to a specific book in the Bible once, citing the book of Genesis without a chapter or verse. You can't do that in academic writing. You have to cite your sources. Now, as I've said in this class, not only do you have to cite them, but if you're going to get into religious, especially Christian texts, which one are you using? Which one? Original, the Greek Orthodox, the one the Romans got a hold of and changed into what we consider the Catholic Bible, the Protestant version that becomes the King James Version, which is heavily opinionated based on what King James wanted in there, the New International Standardized Version, the Kids version, the Native American version, the one that's in Chinese. Which one? You have to say. This particular newspaper is the Stillwater News Press. Came out on December 2nd, yesterday, 2025. The first part of the story is on A1. The second part of the story is on A4. If I were writing an essay, I'd have to cite all that. This article came from the Stillwater News Press, dated this day from these 2 pages. Period. How do I say this? What's my authority? I have a PhD. I had to do a book-length manuscript of original research, where you learn in a course research methods that you do not cite anything without providing a reference. So she said, the instructor said, while you're entitled to your own personal beliefs, there's an appropriate time or place to implant them in your reflections. Meaning, okay, bring them in sometimes. Using your own personal beliefs to argue against the findings of not only this article, they're responding to an article that has empirical data in it, but the findings of countless articles across psychology, biology, sociology, etc., is not best practice. You get a 0. Sorry. Student flips out. Freshman, I'm going to guess, 18 years old. The teacher welcomed the student to share her criticisms, but do so in a way that uses the methodology of empirical psychology. A second professor in the course concurred with the grade. So I just bring all this up because we're in a strange time. And now this is national news. But not all positive. As some Oklahoma watchers say, 0 days without embarrassment for the state of Oklahoma. Because here we are. University of Oklahoma student complains. University has to respond. Governor now involved. Now it's a national story. Look what's going on at the University of Oklahoma. That's why I read the newspaper. Because I like to see these things in front of me. They're not just on a screen. It's bad for our eyes to always look at the screen. Go ahead, Corey.
Besides what you read in the newspaper, did you read the essay itself?
I read parts of it because I saw a picture of it and I looked at it. I didn't have time to as soon as I saw it, being a comp instructor, I read fast. And I could instantly see all the problems with it. Never mind just the opinionated part. I don't even care about the opinionated part. Whatever you think is whatever you think. You know, if you think dogs can represent themselves as cats, beautiful. What I'm really interested in is the material and the way it's presented. And that's what I told the students. That's what I told a student who's no longer here, who bailed on the class or whatever, when they made a request to me early in the semester about could they do this? And I said, well, based on biblical beliefs. As long as you cite it. As long as you tell me which Bible you're using, and as long as you provide some real data on the other side to provide the other point of view. Guess what? Didn't do it. Because that's too challenging. It's too hard. That's what I talked about the other day. We have to be ready to challenge our assumptions. That's just how it is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Just enough time to do this. I've left a little piece of paper up here. I'm going to leave it here. You probably can't read it very well. You don't have to zoom in on it, Sam. It's okay. Personal connection. Pick up a piece of paper. Can you say anything about it? Thesis. Can you make a topic plus an opinion about it? Can you make a main point about it and then offer us some kind of encouragement to go forward at the end of it? You don't know what you're going to get, and we're just going to see what happens. And we're just going to start at the top of the list. Minute and a half. Just say what you have to say. Next one comes up. Okay? Let's see if we can get everybody through. All right, Marianne, come on up, pick one, and start talking to us. I'm bummed this class is over. Let's just come back over the break every Monday and Wednesday. What do you say? Alyssa just canceled that whole idea. Party pooper. Okay, Marianne, let's see what you got.
Okay. Do you want me to read the prompt?
Yeah, sure.
The significance of critical thinking skills in problem solving. You know, it's important to have critical thinking skills when it comes to problem solving because whenever you solve problems in the real world, how are you going to expect to actually solve your problem without any critical thinking? Because you could always come across problems and not solve them. You know what I'm saying? But if you have your critical thinking skills, then you can solve those problems. An example of this could be if you're driving a car and there's a stoplight, and let's say that there's somebody walking across the street, and let's say the stoplight is green, but somebody's walking across the street. Well, if you don't use your critical thinking skills, then you might just go ahead and go, even though it says green, but someone's walking across the stoplight, and run them over. But if you use your critical thinking skills, you would wait and let that person walk and then go. And in conclusion, don't run anyone over, use your critical thinking skills, and drive safe. That's all I have.
Perfect. Jasmine, gotcha. Now take that piece of paper and put it off to the side. Just put it over on that newspaper. That way nobody else does it.
Okay, I think I was one up there.
Okay. I got the importance of setting and achieving personal goals. I don't have anything on top of my head, but
What are your goals?
to be an elementary education teacher.
Okay, why is that important?
It's important because it's something I've always wanted to do.
Good. And we need
More teachers in Oklahoma.
an elementary level is really important, right?
Yes.
So, do you have any encouragement for us?
Don't keep believing in yourself.
Keep believing in yourself? I like it. Let's get ready. Yay. Grace is up next. You made it, Jasmine. I said you made it. Good.
Okay, I got the importance of effective time management. So if you have effective time management, you can accomplish multiple things in a short amount of time. For example, if you are taking 5 classes and you have multiple assignments due all at the same time, if you have effective time management, you can break it down and do one thing at a time until you get them all done. So my encouragement to you is to make a list of everything you have to do and then give yourself little timestamps, and then you can also use effective time management.
Let's hear it. Way to go. Bailey.
I got the role of empathy in building strong relationships. Which one's empathy?
Empathy is like when you care about how somebody else feels.
Can I switch?
Yes. You don't care about how anybody else feels?
Okay. I got the benefits of reading for personal growth and development. I would say reading's pretty good. It helps you, stretches your mind out, gives you new ideas, so you're not just only basing your opinions on one source, you're getting multiple sources. It's better for your eyesight, you're not looking at a screen. It's relaxing.
What are you gonna encourage us to do?
Read more.
Yay! Good job. Okay, Kendall, you're next. See, I'm just trying to get to the point. You don't have to do much. You just have to make your statement, provide a little support, encourage us to do whatever, and then keep moving.
I got the benefits of regular exercise for overall health. I've been exercising every day since about middle school, and not only does it help your overall physical health, it will also help your mental health, even if that's just going to the gym, going for a jog, even getting up from studying and just doing some jumping jacks, getting your blood circulating, your blood flowing, even whenever you're not doing too much. It can help separate your mental stress of maybe working on something, and it can turn it into your body trying to work to do something better. So I encourage you to get up and exercise a little bit for your overall health.
Let's hear it. Good job. Yeah, I read today micro-exercising is good, 4 minutes. David, you're up. 4 minutes a day, just 4 minutes. It gets your body into that active mode.
The value of volunteer work and community service. Volunteer work is very beneficial for the community because they don't have to pay you and people don't like to pay people. So if you can volunteer somewhere, they'll greatly appreciate it and you'll probably feel a little better about yourself even though you're not getting paid. So volunteer.
Let's hear it. Alyssa, I know you have to go, so let's get you going up there. I think I skipped over you somehow.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
after
don't know.
Bailey, and I was like,
I don't know what happened.
juke me out.
I don't know. You haven't been here very often, so I just kind of, my
Right,
brain.
right,
You've been here enough.
I know. I'm here more than Caden.
What's that?
I'm here more than Caden. I'm calling him out.
Maybe. We'll see how he reacts to being called out.
He probably isn't even watching it.
I don't know. He's used to being called out by me, so he'll be all right. Okay, let's hear it.
I drew the role of a healthy diet in preventing chronic disease. It's important to have a healthy diet in your life because it improves your overall health, and it makes it to where you're less likely to have a sickness or a disease.
Okay.
So I would encourage you to go to the grocery store, and when you go, make sure you're picking out foods that are going to improve your health.
All right, let's hear it. Way to go. I know you have a dentist appointment, so hit the road. You can let your personal medical information. I shouldn't be saying it on television.
I'll tell them to.
All right. See you later. See you Monday.
Okay.
Kelsey's up next. Cooper's not here. Lena, Corey, Kim, Gia, Bailey. We're gonna make it.
Okay. I got the impact of technology on modern communication. Technology has made so many lives way easier to be able to communicate with people and get points across from around the world. I know this because I've been able to speak to people who are close to me, who don't live very close, they're close to me, but they're far away. In order to be able to talk to them, I'd have to use technology. And it's important to use it wisely and not use it too much, but to use it responsibly. So I want to encourage you to reach out to those around you, to get on the internet and to research things and communicate with people, but use it responsibly.
All right, let's hear it. Way to go. Elaine, let's see what's gonna happen. You're excited about this one. This class is so much fun. I really regret it's gonna be over with. I finally just learned all your names. I mean, maybe a couple weeks ago, but still. You can do it, or put it down and get another one.
The significance of mental health awareness and self-care. So it's very important for everyone because it impacts you every day, and mental health, just like physical health, if you have a good mental health, so you can stay positive and do everything positive. And I encourage you to take care of your mental health just like physical health.
Okay, let's hear it. Way to go. And how ironic was it that you had that subject in your argumentative essay? So, ready to go on that one. Corey. I'll see if you can keep the time limit down here, Corey. I know you're a talker. And then Kim. Chia, Bailey. We got this knocked out. We can do another round. No, everybody's looking at me like I'm not in my right mind here. I'll take the last one. Now, come on, Corey, decide.
Don't do that.
Put it down or get another one or get up there. Go with what you know.
I don't know much.
Well, let's see what happens.
Okay, it's the power of storytelling and creative persuasive speeches.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, the power of storytelling and creative. Okay, I got nothing on that one, okay.
All right, put it back. But that was you, by the way, because of your dream thing that you talked about.
Thank you for saying that.
I like that one better.
Okay, so the impact of social media on our daily lives. So, social media, I would say over time, I feel like has the next social media. Yeah, okay. So I feel like social media over time has like really taken a toll like on people's mental health and like their daily lives. We're not really like connected like as I feel like a society as a whole due to like social media, so we're not like, I don't know the specific word for it.
Just stay focused, stay on track.
So because of social media, we're not really like connected as a society as a whole. We're not able, I feel like there's not like a lot of like trust or communication, between like, a lot of people. We don't really know what's real, and what's not real. So my encouragement to you is to not use social media as much. I personally don't see it as I think a limited amount of it is fine, but no, not too much of it, but to, I guess, stay off your phone more and go socialize with the people around you.
Okay, good encouragement. Let's hear it. Let's see, Kim's next. See how her eyebrows raise? She's like, I don't know about this one. I'm gonna do it.
I got the importance of diversity and inclusion in society. Yeah, so everyone should include in society because we can get more connection to people. It can us to improve our like if we isolate to the society, it's got your mental health down, and
You're all right. How would you encourage us on this topic? What would you want us to do?
you should go out and connect to society with your friends, your peers, even your parents,
Okay, and do what? Interact with
and interact.
other people that are not like us, maybe?
Yeah,
Because then we learn more about the whole world?
yeah, we learn more about the whole world.
Say one more thing. Anything, just,
Or encouragement. Diversities help our society get better.
okay, good, let's give her a hand. That was a tough one. And a little touchy in this day and era, but that's good. It's always interesting to me, like, who gets what. I mean, these are all pretty generic, anybody could do one, but it's interesting how the universe and physics makes you get a certain topic. She says no on that one. I'm interested in the ones people put down.
I got the influence of music on emotions and mood. So how it connects to people, it depends on the music that you listen to and how the rhythm of the music and the vibes connects to how you feel in the moment. And it helps influence people because it helps in certain situations that you put yourself into, yeah. And how it will help you if you're in like, it helps you, music is good because it helps explains your emotions to yourself. That's my encouragement, yeah.
So your encouragement to us is to go do what?
To listen to music. Any kind of music is fine, as long as you know. Like, I feel like it depends on the music, on your own music. People like their own music, so listening to the type of music that you like can explain your own emotions, so yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, let's hear it, way to go. Very nice. Okay, Bailey, and that's interesting because you had a music talk
Yeah.
earlier in the semester, so it's funny how this works out sometimes. She says no.
It's been the same one every single time.
Same one? I gotta see what that is. Oh, okay.
Storytelling.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a tricky one.
So I got the pros and cons of online learning and education.
Okay,
Say online learning is really important. So I think, well, oh gosh, should have stuck with the first one. I would say online learning allows more opportunities and allows more ways to, get your work done faster or kind of do things like that. Because whenever you're doing online instead of in person, you can work on it anytime throughout the week instead of just being limited to 2 days. Or, just being able to look at your assignments before you have them, before you find out about them in class. So I think that online learning is really important. And then I would say some of the cons to online learning are it, I think, allows the professors to assign a bunch more assignments. And I would say that, since it's all online, you don't have the chance to be able to learn in person. So you don't have that chance to be able to hear words from a professor, so maybe it won't stick with you as much. So I would say I would encourage you to
take an online class or not take an online class?
yeah, I would say I would encourage you to take an online class.
All right, let's hear it for her. Yay! Hooray, we did it. Okay, let's see what did not get picked, so you know what you might run into on Monday. Let's put that there for now. Let's see what did not get selected. You've all heard things that were selected. I like having all these different options up here. One thing I would say, I was pretty happy with Most of you not saying or like all the time. Alyssa's already gone, so she had a couple ums and likes. And Corey, you were kind of him-hawing around a little bit and throwing some likes in there, but I thought everybody else did a really solid job. Not that you didn't do a good job, it's just that you had a few more likes than I prefer, than I like. The other thing I would say is, do we know what a SWOT analysis is? This is important for you to learn at this time before I go on to my next thing, which is looking at the ones you didn't look at. Can my desk cam here, is it working today? See if it's going. It's there. How about the back screen? There we go. Let's see if I can do this on the screen. Oh, let's go. It's funny, it's a little bit after. I can't write looking at that screen, so I'll just do this. SWOT. It kind of comes out of the corporate world. But it's a good way to look at things. Any clues? No. Okay. So we go strength. Good. What else? Opportunity. Opportunity. And finally, threat. When you're making a quick decision, like this, making a quick decision, what I'm going to talk about. What's the strengths of this? What's the weakness of that? What's an opportunity? What's a threat? But really you get into the opportunities that you have in life. What's the strength of making a decision on this particular subject? What's a weakness of making this decision? What's an opportunity if I make this decision? And what's a threat if I make this decision? It's a very basic way to remember using, what's this thing that I've done here? What do we call those? When you use letters to represent a larger concept with more words. Acronym, right, exactly. So you can build these. I encourage you to build these as you go into your finals. If you have to do finals from memory, if you have a list of things, take the first letter of each one of those things, make a word out of it. Because if you can remember the word, you can see what the first letter of each thing is, and then that first letter will inspire you or maybe trigger your memory so that you know that concept. So it's a really good way of studying. We used to, everything was from memory, everything. Now, not so much. So a SWOT analysis is a really good way to analyze whatever difficult choice or challenge that you have in front of you. So, having said that, let's jump over to these and see what else you might get. Now, it looks like some of these were ones that got talked about. Oh, these are the ones that got put away. I think they're all mixed up now. We heard the impact of technology on modern communication. We heard about the benefits of regular exercise for overall health. Pros and cons of online learning and education. I teach a lot of online classes. Some of them are really good. Some, I'm not sure students are getting as much as they could if they were in a class with an actual talking human. The video, I make videos for my classes, and so there is a talking human, but it's not in person. You miss nuances of someone's presentation when it's online. On the other hand, online gives students an opportunity to do things, as Bailey said, on your own schedule. But professors do try to make them harder, because if you're not in class, we're going to make sure you have enough work to get what? It's college class supposed to be 48 hours. 48 50-minute sections. So if you can do an online class in 11 hours, that's not really a college class. Now, we used to say for every hour in class, you're supposed to do 2 hours outside of class. Nobody does that anymore. But you should. If you really want to know the depth of your subject, those of you who are going to the medical professions, you will do more than that. You're stuck with that. The role of effective public speaking in various professions. We didn't get that one, but that would be an easier one for you to do. That's one of the primary things you need to be able to do as a professional, is talk to people and not be nervous about it. And have a little bit of concept of the structure. Personal connection, thesis, main points, restate your thesis, offer some encouragement. Benefits of reading for personal growth and development. Bailey did that one. You know, I've talked about that all semester. Read more. Significant of critical thinking skills. We did that one. That was good. Role of empathy. You gave up on that one, Bailey. I saw an interest. Now, here's where you get to both sides of things. I'm really big on empathy. I think it's really important human quality for us to develop. To be able to think like someone else, feel like they feel, have an emotional reaction to someone who's having an emotional reaction. That's all important. I read an article yesterday. There's a Harvard or Yale study. People with more empathy make less money and don't climb as high on the corporate ladder. Why? Because they care about people. If you don't care about people, the implication is you can roll in the dough and ascend the corporate ladder because you don't care what people think. You don't care how they feel. Oh, you had a flat tire today and you missed class? Too bad for you. We're moving on. Or you have a child and you couldn't have daycare today because daycare, something happened to it, or you got to stay home with the child. Too bad, you're fired. I need somebody who can be here every day. If you're getting in that business world of all that. Childcare is what? $1,000 a month. Easy. Just for like a basic one. So my talk about empathy has gone around to the point where I'm a humanitarian, if you will. I believe in empathy. I think it's good. If I weren't, I don't think I'd be a good teacher, because students have all kinds of issues that we have to understand. But the teaching environment's not the same as a corporate environment. But I thought the study was really interesting yesterday, and I could either, one, hide that and bury it and never mention it, or I could say, here's how I feel about empathy. This is my opinion about empathy. Here's what it is. But hey, there's a study out there that says if you have too much empathy, you're not going to make as much money nor climb the corporate ladder as high. So then you have to have a moral, ethical decision within yourself as to whether or not you think it's good for you to have empathy or not. Is it financially beneficial to you? Are you making all your decisions based on finance and climbing the corporate ladder? So it brings up all kinds of issues. Time management, we heard. The value of learning a second language in a globalized world. This almost goes to Kim. I don't know if everybody got this and put it down. At the beginning of class, I said, how many of you can count to 3 in more than one language? And we went around and everybody could do 2 at least. I was saying I think I can do 5. What's the benefit of that? I just read a study a couple days ago about mental health of aging seniors, which is my club. 64 and up is when your brain starts to fold in on itself. And there are 2 primary things you can do to help your brain health. One is to learn a second language. And because your brain has to flip around. So how many ways can we say hello? How do you say hello in Vietnamese? What is it? Xin chào. Okay. Do you know how to say hello in Hmong? How do we say hello? Na Zhong. Cato? Sita Wawa. Okay. Spanish? Hola. So Cherokee is a really common one. OCO. Good. Muskogee, Inch-J. Osage, Howe, or Hawe, depending on your gender. If you're Pawnee, Nawa. If you're just a Plains tribe, talking to some other Plains tribe you don't have a close connection to, Aho. Aho can mean hello, thank you. It can mean all kinds of things, depending on the context. If you're a Dene or Navajo, Yata'e. But even that, if you're a grandma, you're like, Yata'e. If you're like mad, you're like, Yata'e. And basically, what's up? What's going on? So I encourage you to learn second languages because they're going to help your brain over the long term and give you some more perspective on the world. So about 15 seconds left here. We'll be back on Monday and we'll record this and it'll be aired, but it won't be live. So we'll be here for our final on Monday and we're going to do a similar thing. So I wish you all a good weekend, make good choices, and we'll see you on the other side. Mado Hadam Chi Chaflis.